everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fatal 12. You know, I was joking last time that we had gone beyond 12. We were now in Fatal 13 because it was the 13th episode, and expand into 13 we shall because Naomi has kicked the bucket. Interestingly enough, I don't know why my audio is coming in as hot as it is, but hopefully it's not a problem. But in any case, we are going to go ahead and deal with this. So last time, when I say Naomi got killed, I am not joking around. She got killed like 4 different ways. First, she got blown up, and she would have died from that. And then she got choked, her windpipe crushed, or just straight up choked to death. Then she got her neck snapped, and finally I mean you, not me, you, just threw her in some fire to burn. So, yeah. Not Naomi's best day. And funnily enough, a lot of what we predicted last episode came to pass. Not quite in the way we meant for it to in some cases. But the only thing that really didn't happen is that you did not get voted off, which is interesting. Number 9 showed his face. We learned how we died. We learned how we died authoritatively because we got our memories back. We didn't relive them through you. We just got them granted back to us by Mr. Effeminate Man. And, yeah, now we have another week of you being a thing and being around because he didn't actually get voted out. In fact, we had the first election where nobody got voted out. So we're going to go ahead and see how this goes. Is number 9 going to be some sort of ally? Is he going to show up and do things? It's kind of funny how now that he's actually got a part, now that he's been allowed to speak, he won't shut up and he's just making small talk during the entire Court of Fate. He's very talkative for a guy that hasn't spoken in 4 or 5 weeks. Oh, that actually reminds me. I mentioned before about the whole 7-week kind of ban or embargo that the developers first put on this game when it originally came out. And I went back to check the wording specifically. It said you could only play up to week 7 in the first month, and then you could play the rest. Well, we're in week 7. The week 6 elections have concluded. Week 7 is now, and I think now is when things are going to really start happening. Obviously, the death of Naomi means Rinka is going to start taking things a lot more seriously. She has gone out of her way to close Lion House indefinitely, not I will open now and then. She's literally put up a sign, said, you know, thank you for your patronage. We'll see you later. I think she's finally decided this is worth devoting her full time to, and it's about friggin' time. So that point I keep saying, the point of no return, the point where things get real that I've been waiting for, I think we're hitting it. So this episode should be interesting. The question is, how are we going to deal with this? How ready is 4 going to be to let us vote him out? Because he wants to make us kill him, but I think he also said that he's not going to make it easy for us. So we need to earn that regret card. And I'm pretty sure that getting Naomi back is going to be our primary concern. Rinka didn't really mention it in the last episode. I'm not sure she even had a chance to process the fact that she could bring Naomi back, but that kind of needs to be the thing. Also, I just realized my stupid camera wasn't open. There, that would help. Ugh. My head was frozen in time for some reason. So, yeah, let us get into this and see what's going to happen. How are we going to deal with you? How are we going to get his regret card? What is 9 going to do? Are we going to encounter him in the real world? What's he all about? And what are Odette, Alan, and Federico going to be up to? Because obviously they're going to be active as well. They need to do something. Last election, we elected nobody out. So whatever progress or lack of everyone's been making, they need to step it up. It's Monday. Apparently, we're still pretty out of it. We weren't even very in it during elections. And it looks like it's raining again. Yeah, exactly. School, who cares? What has Psy'Min been saying for weeks now? Not like I have to go. We've got the day off. Okay, fair enough. As if I care about that. I see Naomi's smile in my mind's eye. Memories of the coffee we made together here come back to me. As does the sweet taste of the cookies she would bring. She only brought those once. I ruined all of that. Smothering myself with my blanket is my way of escaping reality. Is Miharu going to have to come back here and knock some sense into us? Like right now? I hear someone ringing the door buzzer, but I ignore it. The same goes for my phone. Any movement at all requires more effort than I want to give. It's got to be Maharu. I don't care about anything anymore, and possibly Mao with her. Divine selection might as well be over for me. You've got to know that you can bring her back. Like, don't let you win, because then this is permanent. I'll just wait for someone to eliminate me, whether it be this week or next. I'm not sure if she's this depressed that she just doesn't care, or if she honestly doesn't realize. I feel like she's smart enough to have realized she's just so hit rock bottom that she can't crawl back up. Maharu won't do it even if I ask her, though. True. But maybe Alan would. Oh, Alan would love to vote you out. Okay, it is Mao. And possibly Maharu as well. Rennie! A familiar voice rises above the sounds of pouring rain. They must be shouting pretty loud for me to hear them up here. But I don't care. I close my heart off once more. We're gonna hit the bad ending here. You can't just shut yourself in. You gotta say a proper goodbye to her. I somehow drag myself over to and open the window. A choice that keeps me from attaining true scum status. Do we get a little CD of them standing down there? Never mind. They're in their... I guess this is funeral-ish attire. This looks like the first year stuff. This is what Naomi was wearing, and actually what Yu was wearing when he infiltrated the school. After I managed that, I forced myself to the town's ceremony hall. I'm not quite sure how to approach Naomi's family, but I do manage to at least give them my condolences. Now that I'm here, I realize there's a part of me that can act somewhat naturally, despite everything. It's probable that I wouldn't have bothered to attend Naomi's funeral if it wasn't for Mao. This is a place to say our farewells. Tears are shed by many, myself included. It's an odd experience. I almost feel like there are two sides to me. One side is distraught, and the other feels nothing at all. The sobs that fill the venue drown out the sound of rain falling. Boy, this was quick. She died like 2 days ago. A lot of Amicus students are here. Naomi's classmates, I'd wager. The role she took on for the Culture Festival must have played a big part, since she enrolled a mere 2 months ago. Wasn't she also class president? That is quick. In that time, she touched everyone with her sincerity. You can bring her back, Rinka. And yet, that very same Culture Festival is where she lost her life. I'm not even sure if I have the right to cry. She never would have died if I had not gotten involved in divine selection. Again, I feel like she would have. Yu isn't stupid. He still targeted her because of Rinka. Not because Naomi was explicitly involved in anything. She never would have died had I not brought her to Lion House to help with the Culture Festival. She never would have died had I not spoken to her that day at the library. Well, that's possible. She wouldn't have died. She wouldn't have died. She wouldn't have died. I should have been the one to die. I'll never be able to get over this regret. Oh, we know our regret card. My book starts to glow. I have nowhere to vent my despair. Sad doesn't begin to describe the situation, not when someone like her dies so young. Hey, Sonia was younger. There's no doubt that everyone here wishes this was all a bad dream. I'm sure none of us have come to terms with reality, that Naomi is no longer a part of our lives. Even I haven't accepted it, despite being a witness to the event itself. Why did things turn out this way? If this is all due to fate, then there is nothing I despise more. I mean, I feel like Maharu is humoring us for the moment, but eventually she's going to be like, okay, we have things we can do about this, Rinka. Before I realize it, my two disparate sides merge back into one. I'm unable to hold back any longer. I weep openly in public. I think the tears came up on her image there, too. They're tough to see. I don't think they were there before. You're not the only one who's sad, Rennie. None of us can believe she's gone. Yeah. Miharu looks like she cut off half her hair. I know she's got it crunched up in her little bunchy there. But it's usually like a frickin' cape behind her. Yeah, Maharu, I don't think, is tearing up as much as the other two. I think Maharu knows that they can do something about this. Naomi's funeral ends in the blink of an eye. Lacking the will to eat, I dive right back into bed when I get home. Maharu, don't let her. Is it Tuesday? Yep. I'm not sure when I fell asleep, or what time I woke up. A distinct emptiness assaults me as soon as I do wake up, though. I dreamt of all the times I spent with Naomi. Wouldn't it be funny if you was the one who slapped some sense into us? Because he wants us to vote him off. His intention is for this to be undone. He intends for Rinka to find the will to do something. I don't think he wants this outcome either. That would be curious. I dreamt of all the times I spent with Naomi. None of that means anything now. They're just past events. In this moment, I truly understand how it feels to have regrets that are lodged in the past. No, seriously, check your book. Things are moving along at the school. They're finally going to carry out investigations under the assumption that it was a terrorist attack. As such, it'll be closed for another week. Oh, okay. We're just doing things in weekly installments. It kind of reminds me of the Persona 5 bit where every time there's a dungeon up, you just get until this date to fix things, and then the story moves on conveniently. Alright, school's closed for a week. That's perfect for me, considering it takes all my energy just to get out of bed. Under normal circumstances, I would have relied on my gran here, but it just so happens that the person she's taking care of collapsed on Saturday night. She's busy helping them. So she's not going to be back for a bit. Are we going to ever meet her? I need to deal with this on my own. Good girl. Another day passes by. Another day of me doing absolutely nothing. Okay, never mind. Wednesday. Flashback to the library. Okay, we're going to play as Maharu, who is hopefully doing things. See, one of the things, pretty much the only thing I got wrong as far as predictions last episode, was that I thought we were going to vote number 4 out, you, and that's how we would learn our cause of death. We learned our cause of death in a more roundabout way, like I said at the beginning of the video. We learned it from Mr. Effeminate Guy, which sort of achieves the same purpose, but now he's not getting voted out. Now it opens up the possibility of you getting voted out by someone else. I feel like Rinka needs to vote someone out. She needs to find the will to take this game seriously. But it would make sense for Maharu to step up, because she's Maharu. Mishima Maharu, that's not her name. Her course of action in the face of recent events is a stark contrast to that of Shishimai Rinka's. The despair displayed on Rinka's part has only served to fuel Maharu's determination. Yep. She may have found Naomi unpleasant, damn, but at no point did she wish for things to play out as they did. Yeah, no doubt. There's all that hair back. I'll do everything I can for her. I'll find her mom's notebook in here somewhere. While the high school portion of Amica may be closed, the middle school and university campuses are operating like normal. This allows Maharu to make use of the library. Right now, our priority is to put everything into perspective. In this regard, numeral 4 is of the utmost priority. Maharu is aware of his real name, Yu. She overheard Rinka muttering it to herself before. She's also aware that he is the one responsible for Naomi's death, having planted bombs in that classroom. For whatever reason, he seems desperate for Rinka to kill him, too. I'm honestly not too sure about what's going on. I may not have been close with her, but Naomi's death is taking its toll on me as well. Today is the first day she truly begins to take divine selection seriously. I guess she's just been sitting around waiting for Rinka to take it seriously. Yeah, good luck with that. As much as it pains me to admit, I'm incapable of bringing Rinka's smile back on my own. Fair point. If you want to see that smile again, you got to undo some stuff. Maharu has no grasp whatsoever on Yu's background. Even so, she makes the decision to perform as much research as possible. Her claim that she would give her life for Rinka is no lie. She has no intention of it ever becoming a lie. If she has ever been sure about anything in her life, it's that. Should her actions fail to protect Rinka's smile, then there's no point in taking them. I suppose I have you to thank for allowing me to realize something important, Naomi. Maharu has very few cards pertaining to participants other than Rinka in her possession. While she may possess a keen intellect, she is but a mere high school student. Without a reliable source, all she can do is rely on newspapers, books, and the internet. Numeral 4. Name, you. Numeral 9. Wait, you have 9's regret? This is the man who spoke for the first time during the 6th election. We have 9. That's weird. So, at the beginning, we were all distributed random cards on each other. It seemed like we all got a name, a cause of death, and a regret, although that may not have entirely been the case. I may have to look back and see if that was maybe not the hard, fast rule. Maybe some people got 2 regrets, maybe some people got 2 names, whatever. And then, of course, some people would get full cards on things they actually knew about. For example, Alan seemed to know everything about number 6, because they probably knew each other. Odette and Federico knew each other's names, so they had each other's name cards, stuff like that. But if Miharu has number 9's regret? Am I reading that wrong? No. This is the man who spoke for the first time. This is number 9. She has number 9's regret card. We have number 9's regret card. Are there duplicates? Huh. I wonder if that's going to hold a meaning. Okay. Can I look at your cards real quick? It's not going to say that, but we have 9's regret. It's right there, the gold medal. But you also have it. Curious. Okay, you know Alan's name. And finally, you know... Wait... What? Miharu knows Alan's cause of death. Oh, it's a shame you didn't get a chance to talk to Shigetsugu before he passed away. You'd have all 3. This is all the information she has pertaining to participants other than Rinka and herself. Huh. While she does have an idea regarding numeral 11's regret, she's been unable to obtain a card out of it thus far. Okay, she's working on the problem cases in this whole game. She's focusing on Alan. She's focusing on Odette. Of course, now she's focusing on number 4. It's kind of funny. Now, at this point, the entire clock is hostile to us except for number 9. Miharu is our only ally. 4 is killing people. Federico and Odette and Alan are the other 3. Alan is the ideal target. Can you figure out his regret? The only issue is that his regret remains a mystery to her, plus the fact that she's yet to meet him face to face. Also true. Although he's seen you. That said, researching him is easier than the others, comparatively, due to his celebrity status. He's been featured in several magazine interviews and TV shows. Apparently he's from an area in southern India where English is the primary language. In that case, all she has to do is look up and translate any words or phrases she doesn't understand. I'm curious about you, but there are too many unknown factors surrounding him right now. Are we going to get a voting out of Alan by Miharu? Boy, he's not going to like that. That would be a power play. Who's going to ultimately be the main antagonist? Is it going to be Odette? Is it going to be Alan? Or is it going to be Parka? Having found her priorities, Miharu begins her research. Determined as she may be, she cannot afford to lose sight of the bigger picture. And thus begins Miharu's quest for information. Are we just going to get a... We had a comment about her having an unusual book, too. We haven't followed up on that yet. Uh-oh. On her way off campus, Miharu notices the silhouette of an unfamiliar man. Well, it's going to be one of only a few people. I don't think it's Federico, because he's not going anywhere without Odette, because he's scared he's going to run into 4 again. Probably. Could be 4. 4 could be finding Miharu, and again, needs to make that motivation happen. Maybe 9 has finally arrived. Maybe Alan has decided it's time to go through her to get to Rinka. It's going to be one of the 3. She errs on the side of caution and takes a different route in order to keep her distance from him. Okay. All right. So it's finally time to begin this dude's story. I guess maybe Miharu is going to deal with this guy while Rinka is dealing with 9. I wonder what this guy's attitude toward the game is going to be. He seems fairly easygoing. He's also a French surfer. Hey there. How you doing, babe? He opts to call her out to her anyway. Miharu doesn't respond. Instead, she allows him to approach while staying on guard. As she does so, she finally recognizes him. Yep, it's numeral 9. Well, you sure don't look scared. Or maybe you're just trying to impress me with a stoic act. I'll leave it to your imagination. As far as I'm aware, you shouldn't be able to find me by using my name. Habinata Maharu doesn't exist, technically. You may be able to link the name to Mishima Maharu when looking through Akuma's records, but that's no simple task. In that case, he may have been waiting for Rinka. It's possible he received her name card during the initial distribution. Yes, somebody got it, we don't know who. Maharu quickly realizes that isn't the case, though. It was numeral 8 who received that card, and she has already been eliminated. Oh yeah, that's true. She did start with that card, we did know that. She was eliminated by Alan, so numeral 9 being in possession of the card would make little sense. That leads Maharu to another conclusion. Is he investigating the bombing? Because he knows, he has to guess that it has something to do with something. Ah, well that wouldn't guide you to her, would it? You wouldn't happen to have my regret card, would you? I wonder how that helps him find her. Sharp, aren't you? Though that probably works against you more than you'd like. Gotta admit, your regret sure took me by surprise. But thanks to that, I managed to find this place. That regret's gotta be oddly specific. But it also means he has 2 of our cards, since everybody knows our name. Although it seems like you've parted ways with that Rinka girl. Okay, maybe he's not that smart. I can tell you two were acquainted back when Divine Selection first kicked off. That's why I made sure to look up all the students here. Ah. So that's how that worked out. I didn't find anyone named Habinata Maharu, but I did find a Maharu. Making the link while knowing what you looked like was pretty easy. I certainly hope you're not here expecting me to give you information pertaining to Rinka. We may no longer be friends, but I have every intention of keeping such things to myself. Oh, don't worry, I know. You'd be at risk if I eliminated her. Maharu's involuntary reflex is to shoot him a glare. She'd be at risk if we eliminated her? I wonder why that would be. How could she not, after someone dares to bring up the idea of eliminating Rinka? How dare you? We're not friends, but how dare you? He doesn't quite interpret it that way, though. Hey, now, don't get the wrong idea. I got no intention of eliminating you for the time being. I'm here to negotiate. You managed to get the upper hand against numeral 11 before, yeah? That's what led me here. I trust you know what I'm getting at. Are you genuinely suggesting that we cooperate? Why now of all times? Also, why are you here now? Did it just take you this long to get to the country? I've been keeping a watchful eye on the situation so far, but it's mainly because I figured the numbers would dwindle even if I kept out of it. His approach sounds similar to Maharu's. He may actually be cunning despite his attitude. I'm not sure standing by and waiting for the numbers to thin out is the best idea, because 2/3 of the clock did that, and now half the clock is dead, so the people who've been making the moves are the ones who are actually getting out ahead. Even by Maharu's own admission, she's got basically no cards. I made it a point to wait until we made it through a week without anyone being elected. Once that happened, I figured it'd be time to act. Oh, really? Is that your strategy? Why is that? I expected it to happen about 3 elections in, but nope. Divine Selection's been way more intense than anticipated. Well, you talk some sense at least. Unfortunately, I can't agree to work with you just yet. You hoping for some of my info or something? You do know far more about me than I know about you, which is to say absolutely nothing. Expecting me to cooperate with you under such circumstances is pushing it, no? I like how she says that with a smile. Maharu was so polite, even when she's just being just a frigid wall. Maharu decides to lie through her teeth. In reality, she already knows his cause of death? What? What? Did I misread? Was that a typo earlier when it said regret? Maybe there isn't a duplicate. Maybe the game was supposed to say cause of death. In reality, she already knows his cause of death. We'll check Maharu's cards later. Hopefully it registers in there. Telling him she knows nothing seems like the best way to make things proceed smoothly. Ain't it enough that I admitted to having info on you? It almost feels like you're threatening that you could eliminate me with ease if you looked into my cause of death. Oops, not what I was going for, trust me. Though, I can't just give away my own info either. Think I could convince you by telling you what I think of this whole charade instead. See, this could be interesting, depending on this guy's background. I'm kind of curious. Again, I like theory crafting in the background. I almost wonder if there's a character, and I can't remember I mean, sometimes this comes up. I wonder if there's a character with maybe like a theology background or a philosophical background, or someone who might look at this whole Court of Fate thing and be like, oh, I've heard of this ritual, or something along those lines, and maybe starting to make some sense of it. Someone who literally started the game with information on Parka, sort of thing. Is that maybe what this guy's been looking into? I don't know. Again, Parker's the one we really need to be making headway on. Alan and Odette and four, you, yes, but yeah, this is the week things start getting serious, I still think. I think I can convince you by telling you what I think of this whole charade instead. I won't make any promises, but feel free. Noticing her take a step closer toward him, numeral 9 continues. Yeah, here we go. Let's start gaming the game. My honest opinion is that everything about divine selection is wrong. I may sound like a surfer, but I'm not stupid. You know how many participants there are who have no qualms with sacrificing others for their own means, don't you? They take advantage of the fact that everything will be undone once they eliminate someone by harming non-participants or using them as hostages. Yeah, kind of important for us to keep in mind considering Naomi's situation. Such actions are without a doubt evil. Oh, you think people are getting condemned? Heaven or hell, depending on how they're approaching this mess? What happened on Saturday proves it. So you're aware of what happened. Like that was the first time hostages got taken. Isn't it weird not to question why people like that get to take part in the first place? Well, if it's fully randomized. To be fair, we've got an unusual number of assholes in our group. Yu was an asshole before he lost his memory. Odette's an asshole. Alan's an asshole. I guess most of the rest are pretty cool. Ro's kind of an asshole. There's even talk about numeral 4 being linked to the terrorist group Null. Oh, we're going into this now. Ah, okay. So maybe we will get some info on 4. Terrorist group Null. What a name for a terrorist group. I'm not sure why they target this place, but they're the kind of folks who aim for crowded places like concert venues. They're satisfied just knowing there'll be plenty of victims. As far as I'm concerned, it's entirely possible they wanted to make a statement to you two by going after your school. It could be their way of saying they'll keep this up as long as you two don't surrender. Numeral 4's creepy silence in the dream world doesn't help things. I mean, this is a little bit off the mark. Again, 4 is trying to lose. Miharu's eyes widen when she hears that. She never expected to walk away from this with clues leading to numeral 4's identity. Null is a terrorist group that operates on a global scale. Okay, apparently she knows a little about them. So little is known about them that it's common for smaller, unrelated groups to use their name for recognition. The bright side is that there was only one casualty, but the number of victims isn't important here. Yeah, you're damn straight it isn't. Oops, I got a bit off track. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? He continues to speak, his tone serious. The only people who deserve to make it through this are the ones on the side of justice. It was hinted that he was a detective during Divine Selection. That was just a random comment by Alan, but it's entirely possible that he's some sort of police officer. I said he was athletic, but I mean, you have to be fairly athletic to be a police officer. He could come from a background in athletics and have joined the police force or something. I can't say whether that's myself, you, or your old buddy Rinka, but based on everyone's actions so far, I can't think of anyone else. I have every intention of letting you win should I come to the conclusion that you deserve to live. Not only is he making sense, but he doesn't seem tricky to deal with. Okay, so he is going to be something of an ally, unless, of course, he does an about-face later, but we'll see. Of course, she isn't foolish enough to believe that everything he says is the truth. The fact remains that numerals 3, 4, 11, and 12 are all formidable foes. 3's kind of a bitch, but anyway. He may serve as a means toward their elimination. It bears mentioning that his beliefs on this whole matter mean nothing to her, especially when Rinka was among the 3 names he just brought up. What's most important to her right now is the possibility of obtaining more information on numeral 4 through him. So how about it? Fancy joining up with me? I'd be lying if I said I trust you completely, but doing so doesn't seem like a bad deal for me. With a quick huff, she continues her act. Ideally, she'll get as much info on numeral 4 as she can right away, but that's unlikely. Fine, I'll cooperate. Just keep in mind that I have every intention of breaking ties with you when I deem it appropriate. Got it. I'll do what I can to prove I'm trustworthy, but I'm fine with that compromise. Let's get straight to business then. I've actually got another accomplice, so follow me. Oh, I've actually got another accomplice? Oh, don't tell. Okay, first of all, this could be someone entirely unrelated. Like he's got his own Naomi. He's got someone on his side who's accepted this situation and is helping him. Or this just can't. I don't think this is true, but it would be crazy if it was. Is Federico some kind of mole? That'd be kind of interesting. I want to see this. His statement leaves Miharu curious. Is it someone unrelated to divine selection? Well, it'd be really wild if it was the weird effeminate dude. Because we still don't know what he's about. I don't know why he would be in this world helping this guy, but again, we're getting in a crazy town. I think this is when things kick off. While it's dangerous for her to follow him while knowing so little about him, she risks losing his trust should she refuse. He may be one to keep an eye on, but he's also not likely to betray her so fast. You've talked to this guy for all of 3 minutes. With that in mind, she makes sure her phone has plenty of battery remaining before following him. Who's your friend? Who's your ally? Mama? Eventually they reach a bar in Shinjuku Kabuki-cho's district named Milk Crown. Not Marble? Milk Crown. It's not the sort of place one should enter in a school uniform, but Miharu seems unfazed. Likely thanks to her job working in a maid cafe. Miharu figures he will not betray her right away. But she quickly realizes how wrong that assumption is. Uh-oh. Oh, damn. Okay, I joked about the Federico, but, okay, that I did not call. Well, now I know where this image came from, because this image flashed up during the intro. Didn't see that happening. What are you guys... Okay, this is another thing that just kind of came, like, random thought that wasn't even worth commenting on. But I was thinking to myself, what if there was someone who maybe was asking the same question I was about getting everyone to survive? What if they started getting everybody together to try to rally, not to form teams against each other, but to actually just pool information on how we can all get through this and basically take on Parka? Is that this guy's intention? Does he want to form an entire alliance with all of us to see if we'll get through? I mean, if his comments about good and bad and justice about who lives and dies are honest, then there's no way he's going to let Odette through. Federico? Probably not. But why ally? This is going to be interesting. I'm surprised I was right about Federico. I was not going to be right about Odette. Yeah. Didn't you say you were going to bring another accomplice? The hell's with her, then? Hey, hold on. I know that face. Why are you here? Federico's attempted a charming smile. They are the only customers in the small bar. Both are already drinking something. One drink is the color of oak and the other is pink. Yeah, these two are perpetually drunk. No surprise there. Miharu is used to serving alcohol at her job, so she can tell that one is whiskey and the other is some sort of cocktail. Granted, their drinks are inconsequential for the situation at hand. Yeah, we have other concerns. Both parties expected numeral 9's accomplice to be someone unrelated to divine selection, it seems. I'll explain later. Yeah, again, I was wondering if 9 was just going to start making some interesting moves when he showed up, and here he goes, front and center. I'll explain later. I said that already. He whispers to Miharu, although she has already gotten a general grasp of the situation. You want to explain yourself, Steel? Steel? You know full well that Habanada Miharu's our enemy. Shut it, Federico. How come you always got to get so worked up? Yeah, just punch him. Oh! Well, you just used her real name. Damn it, Odette. Don't call me by my real name when we used a fake one for Steel. Okay, so Steel's not his real name, but Federico and Odette are just like, hey, Federico, hey, Odette. Okay, Odette's just an asshole. Oh, my apologies, Monsieur Carminati. Our book glows. You're gonna pay for that. Like I said, you're a bitch. Oh, okay, so we're, Huh. Is this the reason why nothing's happened for the last week? Because Steel, as he's going to be calling himself, has already been talking to these two, and they're starting to make some moves under Parka's nose. Of course, Odette just loves being daring and thrilling, so she would do something like this. Sorry about the racky young lady. I'm Odette Malencon. Gotta admit, I wasn't expecting to meet you here. Us two were minding our own business when this guy came up and asked to cooperate. Scale? Who the frick is Scale? His name was Steel 2 seconds ago, wasn't it? What do you two think you're doing? Who is Scale? You ain't got no right to say that. Your name's Maharu, right? You sure took me by surprise way back when. I'm not quite sure how to respond to that, Madam Malencon. Looks like this situation's taken you by surprise at least. Good enough for me. Let's call it even with that, so have a seat. How about we talk things out over a drink? My treat. And just call me Odette. I'm still a minor, so I'll pass on anything with alcohol. May I have some milk instead? Damn, the high school kids of this country are so uptight. Whatever. Maharu makes her way toward the bar, her heart thumping faster and faster. She may be calm and composed more often than not, but a situation like this does not allow for that. Like I said, I feel like things are kicking off, and this is, yeah, how's this gonna go? And who the hell was Scale? Is his name Scale or Steel? One of those is a typo. Try as she might to find the right way to act, the answer continues to elude her. Yeah, have fun with this situation. The information she has committed to memory regarding Odette is of no help either. She's impossible to read face to face. Yeah, she is. Steel does not control this situation. She does. So who's Scale? I want to get back to that. Is there a dragon in here somewhere? Anyway, now we know you're not some broad who looks like Maharu. It was faint, but I noticed a light shining in your bag. You should have both our name cards now. Is that what that whole charade was for? Nah, ain't that right, Steel? Put me in a tricky spot, aren't you? You're the one who brought up cooperation, knowing that only one of us will survive this. Do we know that? I'm sure you understand just how critical trust is here. We gave you our names, which just so happen to be vital to one's success. I assume you know where I'm going with this. Here's your milk. We have to give up, or he has to give up his name? Odette's approach doesn't feel like she's pressuring anyone. She simply asks in a calm and even tone, all while swirling her glass of whiskey. Maharu takes this as an opportunity to judge her character. She figures that Odette is not all brawn and no brains, based on what she heard from Sonia, but she never expected her to be this hearty and talkative. Once Odette hands off the milk, Maharu drips in some syrup and takes a sip. You put syrup in milk? Is that a thing? Ew. If it's my name you want, it's my name you'll get. There's Scale again. Is his name Steel or Scale? This, yeah, give us your real name so we can stop relying on this, weird pseudonym that doesn't seem to be able to make up its mind. That makes life easier. You'd have been our next target if you hesitated now. Christ, how selfish can you get? Who would have thought you... What would you have done if either of them already had our info? Easy. We'd have uncovered their info before the next election. Anyway, time to spill the beans. I mean, if you could have done that, you'd have done it already, lady. Numeral 9 takes a deep breath before opening his mouth. Oh! It is Scale. Okay, so his real name is Scale and his pseudonym was Steel. Alright. Scale Jones. Remember when I was making a joke several videos ago about potentially goofy American names? That's about as goofy as it gets. I'm still not sure he's French. Odette alluded to that, but we'll see about that. Can't tell you my occupation. You could probably tell I'm a surfer, but my blood type's 0. Is that good enough for you? That'll do. Everyone's books glow. It serves as proof that he's telling the truth. Where are all your books? Odette downs the rest of her whiskey before demanding another glass. Maharu may not have had any alcohol before, but she's aware that whiskey is at least 40% proof. That smell alone is to put off most people her age, but seeing Odette gulp it down without issue gives her a genuine shock. She's a literal pirate. Yo, Federico, Japanese whiskey ain't bad. Want some? Nah, I'm good. Sometimes I just want to enjoy a nice and sweet cocktail. Well, mainly because they don't got no good wine here. He likes the Italian stuff. Maybe I should get something too. Something strong. There's a pang of anxiety in Scale's voice as he orders a drink that Maharu is unfamiliar with. A wave of relief washes over him as he takes a swig. Seeing that, Maharu comes to understand what people mean when they say they need a drink to get by. No normal person could keep up with someone like Odette. Yeah, no kidding. Federico seems to be hiding in her shadow, but he's not normal either, based on how composed he is despite being around her. Well, he's been around her for a few weeks now. Maharu keeps her mind occupied in this manner as a means to keep her wits about her. I don't know how he managed to drag you into all this, but I assume you got the gist of things on the people gathered here. That guy's using this as a way to see who's worth teaming up with. Talk about twisted. What, are we having auditions? Thank you for the warning, but there's no need to worry. I'm aware of his tactics. You didn't gather us here to eliminate numeral 4. So I assume our target is none other than Alan Scorpion, correct? Ah, spectacular! Interesting. I don't know. I kind of feel like I trust Alan more than I trust Odette, but we'll see. He seems to be enjoying himself more than he was a few moments ago. Maharu can't help but wonder if the alcohol has started to do its job already. Rinka? Rinka? Nope. Flashback? Alan? What's up? Federico flashback? Yeah, a very short flashback. Okay, so this is back to when Scale approached them. Me and Odette were staying at a hotel in Japan when the 6th election took place. Yeah, you'd still be here. It's the first time we came out of an election without any eliminations. Talk about unusual. Guess we couldn't do as much about it considering the circumstances of you being stabbed and all, because you're a bitch. I've made a decent recovery since that kid did a number on me. You know, I was thinking before about how much of a chance 4 would stand against Odette and Alan back when the house raid was happening. I feel like on a one-on-one, 4 would have some trouble because it's not like Odette and Alan are pushovers. 4 may be really trained, but he's still just a kid. After getting his memories back, though, I feel like 4 is kind of like the... He could probably take any one of them on one-on-one right now. I mean, all he has to do is... No, he can't even set a bomb, because it wouldn't affect them either. But still, he's certainly... I mean, literally, he killed Naomi 4 times. 4 times! Inside of like 2 minutes. It's just like, you're dead, and you're dead again, and you're dead again, and you're dead again. I wasn't completely better yet, though. Making a recovery to me just meant that I could move around again. So what happened to the kid's card at the end there? Like I said, it disappeared. Don't know how when it was one of my starting cards, but it did. Oh, so she lost her name card. This is good to get info on. So she had used name card, but it was blank. So just like his regret changed when he got his memories back, his name changed when he got his memories back. You'd think the card would just update, but no, you lose it. Weird. So now, the U card, the U name, still applies. Maybe it still applies no matter what, but perhaps his real name applies as well. Chances are it happened during the 5th election, just before the old man got eliminated. Same thing seems to have happened to Alan as well, although it was after he eliminated him. Chances are it happened during the 5th election. Not necessarily. Oh, no, wait. 5th election. No, that's when the card was destroyed. Yeah, that makes sense. Alan Scorpion. They know his name now? I mean, he's a celebrity, so everyone should know Alan's name. It wasn't hard for us to find out his name because he's a world-famous jeweler. Okay, we didn't know that. But now, officially, everybody knows his name, because Rinka knew it. Well, it's possible 4 doesn't know it, but I doubt that highly. It wasn't hard for us to find out his name because he's a world-famous jeweler, but that's literally all we could find out. Neither of us started out with any of his cards, either. The current discussion was about how one of Odette's cards disappeared, which tied to him. After he eliminated Old Man Shigetsugu, he obtained number 4's regret card for all of 2 seconds, and yet that card shattered the moment he reached out to grab it. My card disappeared the exact same way his did. I don't know how many other people had numeral 4's cards, but odds are the cause of death card has disappeared. Oh, odds are all but the cause of death card have disappeared. I was about to say, it wouldn't make sense for the cause of death card to disappear. That doesn't change. Only thing I can think of is that the contents changed. I get how a name can change, but the regret? That's got me puzzled. Especially when you consider that everyone's personal perception plays a big part in the rules for divine selection. Yeah, Odette's tweaked to that too. Again, she ain't just brawn. She's got brains too. Curious about how the whole no-name thing before that Curious about how the whole no name thing before that, too. Guys, your English sucks. Did they just not have a name? That one's simple. They either never had the chance to be named by their parents, or they ditched their past and old name. Form is pretty common for war orphans. Ditched their past. Some people would adopt new names after doing such a thing in my line of business, too. Wait, that explains things. I came up with a possible answer on my own. Numeral 4 was probably given a name during divine selection, one that they considered to be their true name. Odette usually reached conclusions based on situational evidence, but it looked like I was picking up that habit as well. Couldn't say I was too big on it, but judging by her expression, we were thinking the same thing. Seems like a school here was the target of a terrorist attack recently. When you think about it, plenty of terrorists work alone. Add in the fact that kids are harder to detect, especially here in Japan, and it ain't no coincidence, huh? We might be at a kind of deadlock for the moment, but we could still make some sort of progress. Even if we didn't do anything crazy, someone else was more than willing to step up. Yeah, yeah, 4's doing some crazy. As if to prove that, the very same day we got an unexpected visitor. Numeral 9, some suspicious American calling himself Steele. Okay, so I was right to consider him American. Alright, maybe he's got a little French background and that's why Odette was teasing him with that. Huh, alright, I made the right call. He's an American. Sweet. I also like how all this is happening while Rink is having a little pity party. Is she going to do something? Is she going to eventually get out of bed and decide, okay, F4. We're going to get rid of Alan. She's going to get rid of 4. If Alan leaves early, that would be surprising. He definitely seems like one of the last people who would go. But he is a huge threat to, well, everybody. So it's not shocking. Odette as a final antagonist is going to be a little crazy, but I still think we're going to be focusing on Parker to an extent. Alan's Scorpion's elimination. Maharu brings up the topic as frankly as possible. Wouldn't you agree numeral 4 is to be our first target based on recent events? Perhaps. His actions serve as a means to provoke us, so it's hard not to take notice. But you all made it clear that you have no intention of letting him provoke you. You're a bit too sharp for my taste. Never was one for dating girls as smart as you, but hey, I wouldn't complain about a night or two. Federico, you scumbag. How about you quit talking crap and learn a thing or two from her? Yeah, Odette's got more respect for Maharu than Federico. Moving on. So far, Alan has instigated the most elections out of us all. Chances are he has the most cards, too. That's why it's ideal for all of us to team up and deal with him. Am I right, Scale? It's common knowledge that he was able to turn his jewelry business into a worldwide operation all on his own. His actions early on during Divine Selection, coupled with his celebrity status, have led to Japan's police force keeping their eyes on him. Trespassing, obstruction of business, that sort of stuff. He's a real criminal to them. But here's the thing. He's got connections with both the Indian and Japanese governments through his company. His influence isn't big enough for them to outright ignore him, but they're making sure the police have their hands tied. That ain't all. His information network's probably the trickiest part about him. Oh, really? Again, let's find out more about Scorpion. Pretty much. If he knows your name, then he might as well give in to the fact that he probably knows your entire background as well. You're lucky that I'm the one who scouted you all out. Might want to act a bit more careful from here on. Yeah, again, I feel like he's got some connection to law enforcement as well. Yeah, as if you don't got any good sources of your own. I'd prefer if you didn't compare me to someone with a conglomerate behind him, thank you very much. Heh, I like that you ain't denying it. Well, whatever. If we're going to cooperate, then knowing each other's names is the bare minimum condition for me. I'm sure you're aware of what'll happen if you try to pull anything funny, too. Scale grimaces over that proclamation before taking another sip of his drink. He must not have appreciated the open threat. After he gulps his drink, he shifts the topic. Now then, chances are Alan will end up coming out of this whole thing as the winner if we let him keep at it. That's what I think, at least. There's no justice in someone like him winning. As I said, he's nothing but a criminal now. Yeah, did you hear about the baby incident? Let's not even get into the things he's probably done to get to where he is now. He's a villain, no doubt about it. He's rather into this, isn't he? Miharu whispers to herself quietly so Scale does not hear her. He doesn't seem to be lying about his belief that participants either do or don't deserve to make it through divine selection. Kind of interesting how he's putting himself in the judge's position here. The individual attitudes toward this has been curious. It's not like something like I keep comparing to Danganronpa, where everyone's just like, hey, I want to live, I need to kill someone, or blah, 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 we need to catch whatever. We have people that have resigned themselves to their fate. We have people who have tried to leave a legacy. We have people who are, actively trying to use their death to make a point, or get someone else to do something, like 4. And then we've got this guy who's just like, I decide who lives and who dies, thank you very much. But if he has a strong sense of justice, again, if he's a cop or something, that would make sense too. So, okay, this guy's interesting. The irony is that he's willing to team up with people like Odette and Federico. Well, temporarily. Miharu's unsure how things will play out down the line, but right now she can at least keep a watchful eye on him. We can't let someone like Alan run wild, especially after what numeral 4 pulled. Alan's likely to target him now. Really? Well, I guess he was targeting him already. That's why he asked for his card. Should he succeed, he'll have yet another card at his disposal. Letting him gain even more of an advantage only spells disaster for us. That's why we need to work together to eliminate him now. I need some coffee. Why do I keep picking voices that are rough on my throat? Ah, so you say, but you're struggling to get any meaningful info on him, aren't you? That's part of it, yeah. Few people know what he was up to when he all kicked the bucket, and he made sure that those who would have kept quiet about it. Oh, interesting. I can't do this on my own. That's why I approached you. Yeah, must suck to have Federico call you out on something. You sure you want to partner up with us after all that talk about justice and stuff? Your card book didn't react when we told you our names, so you must have gotten a hold of them at some point. Probably around the time you came to our hotel. I can only assume you know everything about our backgrounds and how, well, villainous we are. Ah, crap, seriously? Like I said, we're only cooperating in order to eliminate Alan Scorpion and numeral 4. I've already come to accept that this is a necessary evil. I don't like you, and you don't like me, but I'll make it perfectly clear we're not here to make friends. You two are my targets after those two are gone. I'm sure you were thinking the same about me. Sounded like a proper villain yourself with that line, bud. Mind if I ask you where the young lady falls regards to all this? Miharu listens in bewilderment. To her, it sounds like the alcohol has caused them to discuss things completely unrelated to the topic at hand. I would appreciate it if you settled your little squabble over whether or not you'll be cooperating without me first. Miharu may have succumbed to Odette's threatening nature at first, but it was only a matter of time before she settled down. Their lightheaded conversation is a likely contribution. She holds nothing but fear for them in the court of fate, but here they just seem like regular people. Try not to tease Scale too much, Odette. I'm starting to feel sorry for him. Oh, you caught on? Is that what they call a woman's intuition? You're a bit younger than I imagine, but plenty mature. How about we ditch these losers and go somewhere else? These losers? You're the only loser here, buddy. Miharu takes a step back upon hearing his proposition. Words aren't necessary when our expression shows the answer. Yeah, open disgust and horror. You're a dumbass, you know that? Well, I can't blame you for thinking she's probably got the moves. Anyway, I ain't against partnering up. Just wanted to call you out for contradicting yourself. Hate to admit it, but we're also struggling. Yeah, you didn't vote out anyone last election either. You're a lot more troublesome in person than I imagined, madame. It does make sense that people would start hitting roadblocks too, because again, some people's cause of death and regret are going to be almost impossible to figure out. So now we're officially partners until we eliminate Alan. Let's save making a plan of attack for later and seal the deal with another round. You want something yet, Miharu? I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask that you all swallow something other than alcohol first. Miharu holds out her empty glass with a bold smile. Odette doesn't seem too bothered, but both Federico and Scale obviously are. Their expressions are full of worry over what she will say next. I happen to know Alan's cause of death. It was part of my initial set. Oh. Well then. You what? For real? You may have reliable information networks at your disposal, but it's not enough to counter the advantage I have in already possessing the card itself. I guess we gotta swallow your conditions first, huh? Fine, go ahead. Oh, Maharu. Making some bold moves, just like when she crossed Odette before. Gutsy. Heh, indeed. If we're going to cooperate, then I ask that we target numeral 4 first. Scale is already aware of this, but it was Amika Girls University High School that he targeted. My school. There was only one casualty as a result, but it just so happened to be an underclassman I knew. So what? You'll tell us Alan's cause of death if we help you eliminate the kid? Maharu nods. Damn. Hurts to imagine a cutie like you can have revenge on her mind. I'm fairly sure she isn't seeking revenge here, Federico. Should a participant be eliminated, their actions since the start of divine selection will be undone. That's one of the rules. You're looking to bring your friend back through eliminating him, aren't you? You're free to interpret my intentions however you wish. Count me in. There are fewer things more than just wanting to save a friend. There are fewer things more just than wanting to save a friend. Guys, I'm going to need you to use your books for your English instead of trying to wing it, because you guys suck. Numeral 4's actions undoubtedly make him evil. All we're doing is changing the order in which we do things. The reason why his regret card disappeared remains a mystery, but I get the feeling that the 4 of us can get past that. Thoughts, Odette? It'll take a bit longer overall, but we're guaranteed to get our hands on Alan's cause of death while eliminating another participant at the same time. Did you consider the possibility of us turning you down? I considered it wasn't likely. Scale's decision to leave numeral 4 for later was likely due to the fact that one of his cards was among those he started with. He wouldn't bring up the topic of his regret card disappearing without a reason, after all. At the same time, you not bringing it up whatsoever is somewhat suspect. The odds are in Maharu's favor. The rest relies on Odette's reaction. Odette's just going to go with whatever because she's Odette. She's not worried about being wrong. If she is, then they'll likely assume she's overthinking things. Heh. Odette cracks a smile. Sure she does. Maharu's gamble is a success. That's what Odette's expression says to her. Not only did she have either a name or a regret card belonging to you, but she also witnessed it disappear in response to its change of contents. Maharu notices Scale's expression turn far more serious too. She nods to herself with confidence, having confirmed that her suspicions were right. I didn't quite follow that train of thought about who had what cards, or why Maharu thought that, but that's why I'm recording this. You're right. I had that kid's name card and saw it disappear with my own eyes. By process of elimination, Scale must have had his regret card. You do realize this entire scenario is why we were leaving that kid for last, right? We can't act if there's no solid guarantee things will work out. Prioritizing him just ain't gonna happen if you don't have another surprise in store for us. Something like knowing his cause of death. Did we say we had that? I mean, Rinka was the one who started with it, and I don't recall. If there was a duplicate of that, I feel like I would have commented on it. Like I commented on Scale's regret. True enough, but hey, I agreed to this, assuming she knew that much. But of course, I don't know his cause of death, though. Just his name. Oh-ho! Now I'm interested. So the name card you had didn't disappear. So that's how it is. You managed to get your hands on the info after the cards vanished, right? Mind telling us where and how you managed that? I'm under no obligation to disclose that. However, I will share his name with you should you all agree to target him first. While we only know his name right now, his actions make him easy to trace. I'd say we're in a much better position to gather the rest of his information than Alan is. Maharu casts an overt glance over to Scale. Well, I mean, we have Alan's cause of death, so that's not entirely true, but whatever. Scale seems to comprehend the meaning behind it immediately. Leave that to me! I figured we'd be starting with his cause of death, but this actually makes things easier. Plenty of journalists are looking into that case on their own, so this should serve as a good bargaining chip. You're fine with that, right? Maharu offers another nod. She's not quite sure just how much she can trust him, but he's already proven his ability to gather information by uncovering Odette and Federico's names. I mean, if he's with law enforcement, that shouldn't be that hard. Sucks that I won't get to stick it to that annoying bastard right away. But it ain't like we got anything to work with. Let's go with her plan for now. Count me in too. Looks like all your effort was worth it. I'll take that as a compliment. Thus, Maharu shares numeral 4's name with the three of them. She also reevaluates her opinions of them. Scale is undoubtedly hiding something. His true intentions being a mystery leads her to that conclusion. He may be suspicious, but the things he told her when they first met seem to be the truth. Yet he still chose to team with Odette and Federico. Well, they seem to be the most productive, kind of. Federico himself let Odette do all the work, but he's a sharp one regardless. He's also the type of person whose actions are hard to predict. Specifically, if he snaps at some point, what he would do is anyone's guess. As for Odette, she speaks for herself. She saw right through Maharu's nerves during their exchange. As much as she tried to look calm and composed, Odette spoke of her effort involved in doing so. She knew. It's important not to slip up when talking to her, but Maharu now understands that focusing on that too much can be just as dangerous. Well, let's drink up, troops. Are you for real? Oh well, I'm in. Following that, Maharu exchanges phone numbers with Scale. While hesitant at first, she ultimately goes through with it after realizing she can cancel her phone contract if necessary. With that done, she leaves the bar before the others begin to celebrate. If one thing surprised her, it was her ability to engage with them at their level. At the same time, it fueled her determination to cooperate with them. It's the only way she can accomplish her goal. It's the only way she can help Rinka smile again. Aw, back to Rinka. Speaking of Rinka, still being a sad sack? I spent all of yesterday in my room, and you're going to spend a little more time in your room, because we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hopefully the audio is okay. I see it just, for some reason it's peeking into the red, but it should be all right. I'll see if I can tone it down in post if I have to. But in the meantime, like I said, we're in the week where things are starting to really happen. Who's going to eliminate 4? We, as Rinka, actually have a big advantage over him because we know the most about him. We may end up eliminating him before anyone else does, and they're just going to waste their week. On the other hand, targeting Alan as well is also interesting. So that would basically leave the 5 of us. Will number 9 end up being the true protag? Is there something about him, and he's just kind of giving the impression that he's with law enforcement? Maharu's doing some stuff. Federico's still a bitch. Odette's being Odette. And how are we going to deal with Parka? Also, what's number 9 going to do once he's done? Like, in theory, I highly doubt this is going to happen, but if it comes down to 1, 2, and 9, is 9 just going to roll over and let one of us live? I kind of doubt that. We also have his regret card. How's that going to play into things? We have it as Rinka. But Maharu also has Alan Scorpion's cause of death. That is curious as well. Well, time for more theory crafting in the background. I got to get ready to do some other stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Oh, this is getting unpredictable. Last video I predicted everything. This video I'm predicting nothing. And yeah, let's see what they're able to do on their own there. I need to review some of that commentary as well. Some of those things Maharu said and other stuff. But yeah, let's see what happens. Next election, who's going up? Is it you? Is it Alan Scorpion? Is it both? Is it neither? Is there going to be a shocking twist play? I'll see you next time.